Can I get some closure? Stay right where you are and don't come closer. If you haven't picked it up, it's over. You wanted her, so just give me what I...
Okay, gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another Marvel Avengers video. And before we get into today's video, guys, as usual, I'm going to do my shameless plugins. If you're not, make sure you're following me at all the appropriate social media at Tanek127. And if you want more Marvel's Avengers gameplay, guides, updates, news, and stuff like that, make sure you are liking today's video, subscribing to the channel, and let's go ahead and get right on into it. So, disclaimer, as usual, this video is sponsored by Square Enix. They hooked me up with a review key for this game. However, I do want to make it clear that I can say whatever I want about this game. And that's in the agreement of this game key. It clearly states I'm allowed to criticize it and rip it apart. So if I hate this game and I think it sucks, I'm allowed to tell you it sucks. So don't, let the sponsored thing, bother you and all that stuff. A lot of people have this crazy misconception that, content creators, just paid to say things are good. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, and there's some companies that don't do that, but never in my experience has that been the case. They just pay or give you a game key to show the gameplay. Once the gameplay is shown, that's it. It's out to the public, and, the deed's done. Whether I say it's good or bad, you have eyes to see on the screen, what you think for yourself. And I think a lot of people forget that. But anyway, that's not what today's video is about. And this isn't going to be, some standard crazy review. And I don't plan on revisiting this topic until exactly a year from now. Hopefully, I'll be playing this game on a Xbox Series X or S by that time, because I'll be making a video called Marvel's Avengers in 2021. Is it worth it? So look out for that video next year. But for today's video, we're talking about the truth about Marvel's Avengers, because that's what we're going to get into. Like I said, this isn't going to be some standard review. If you want some IGN numbered thing or scaled review, you got to go visit one of those guys. I don't really do that kind of thing over here. I give you straight up, whether it's good, who this game is for. That's mostly what it's talking about and what this game sets to achieve. And we're going to have a bit of a long discussion here, so I would get comfy before watching this video. Just a heads up. So when I play Avengers, and especially when I played it the first time during the beta, and I've already touched some of these thoughts during the beta, but I'm going to reiterate here. I go back to the days of Destiny 1, and I go back to the days of Anthem. And I look at, what those games did and stuff like that, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, Avengers is a very somewhat Destiny-ish kind of experience. It's a loot-driven game. It does have, wonderful story elements. It has a pretty good story to it. I will say that the story definitely threw me for a loop, and I really enjoyed it. It has a lot of fun co-op and single-player stuff to do. It kind of takes the best of both worlds and blends them all together. But like I said, I go back and I think about those games, and I think about, what they did right and what they did wrong. And Avengers pretty much takes the screw-ups from those two games, Destiny in particular, and Anthem, and a lot of these other loot-driven games as a service-like experiences. And it seems that, Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics want to perfect that kind of thing. It seems like, they've learned that lesson. It seems like they literally looked at those games and say, hey, this is what we're not going to do. So the first and foremost thing I want to tackle when it comes to this is, does Avengers feel like a complete game? Is everything there? And I can confidently say yes, and that's that's one thing I am happy about. And speaking of that, as you guys can see, my Black Widow here in the mission we're doing, this is end game content I'm running. I've been through the game's story campaign and stuff like that, So this isn't some some half-baked thoughts after playing the game for 2 hours. Nah, I've been on that grind, baby. But you're talking to an RPG and an MMO guy. I put in my hours. But Yeah, it feels like a complete game. I was satisfied, playing the story campaign. It's not one of those games that leave you thinking, like, hey, this is half complete, but I know that they're going to add more stuff later. This game, when you play this, it makes you think, and after you finish that story, holy shit, that was fun. I can only imagine what these guys are going to add next. That's how you feel when you play Avengers. And that's how games as a service is supposed to be. You're supposed to get a complete experience. You should feel confident in the experience that you have. And then you should feel confident in the experiences that you're going to get. Now, if they mimic what they've been doing so far in this game with, their future content, this game's going to be a beast, and a lot of games like this are going to have a really hard time competing. Now, is Marvel's Avengers perfect? No, there are issues. There are some bugs. I did experience some crashing problems and stuff like that. And mind you, I'm playing this game on the most powerful console right now, the Xbox One X, and I did experience some issues with it. But Marvel's Avengers honestly is a solid game. It, like I said before, it offers you a lot of single player. It offers you a lot of co-op, and the cool thing is it's all blended into one experience, which is the good thing. But the bad thing is, if you're a person looking for one or the other, you're going to feel like the one that you don't want is kind of forced on you. Like me, for example, I'm a MMO player, a more loot-driven story guy. I like my Destiny and Anthem and, like big, massive co-op experiences. I like those. Me, personally, I wasn't too crazy about, a ton of the single-player stuff. While the story was great, and I enjoyed it, and I don't regret a second of it. But, I'm still more of a fan of, the big multiplayer dungeon-like missions that you guys see me doing right here on the screen. This is the stuff I like. This is the stuff I enjoy. I like doing these. I like getting the loot. I like making my character more powerful. But the one thing you have to respect about this game is they offer the best of both worlds evenly. And that's even with endgame. And that's the cool thing. These multiplayer missions you're doing right here, you don't have to play them with friends or other players. You can do them solo with just, your own roster of characters. And there's even some type of like trial-based gauntlet thing that they're adding for single player players as well, who want to test out their whole team of Avengers and stuff like that. They mentioned it in the in their dev stream the other day. I just can't think of what it's called. You go floor by floor and do wave by wave of monsters and stuff like that. But it's like I was saying, there's something here for everybody, and that's the main thing I want to stress on with when it comes to this game. The only thing, like I said, that's a little bit sour about that is the fact that, if you only like one or the other, until you reach the, the end game and like mid-game Avenger Initiative style stuff, you're going to feel like one or the other is forced on you if you don't enjoy both sides of the thing. That's the bad thing about here. But as you guys can see, obviously, graphics, the game is gorgeous. It's fun to play. If I had to, pick just one little gripe about when it comes to this game, I feel like it just takes and I know it's for story purposes, I get that, but I feel like there's so much character restricting in here, and that's that's one other thing that kind of bugged me too. Like it took me a good amount of hours of playing, to get into the character I finally wanted to play. I couldn't use that character on every single mission in the campaign. Like I could be a lot farther along working on Black Widow if I had access to her earlier. But then again, it's a story-driven experience. That's how it works. You unlock the characters through story. So like I said, there's a good spectrum and a bad spectrum to it, depending on what kind of player you are. Now, me, as the grindy multiplayer experience loving guy, that bothers me. But the single player loving guy, that's probably not going to bother you so much because you're not specifically worried about the experience that I'm worried about. So like I said, the game caters to both sides, which is awesome. There's just, the only thing with it is there are times where when you cater to one, you have to hit the other one in the nuts for just, you know, a few minutes. And that's probably the most annoying thing about this game. But microtransactions, all that fun stuff, from what I've seen so far, all the skins in the game are earnable through gameplay. There's a currency you can earn in the game by just, you know, simply playing, and that's, you know, with great with cosmetics. And there's also a paid currency if, you know, you just want to flat out buy some of that stuff or earn it faster or whatever. But like I said, it's all cosmetics. It's outfits, emotes, and takedown poses and stuff like that. It's nothing pay to win, nothing crazy and stuff like that. And I know there are people, you know, like, oh, it's a retail game, man. Why do they got microtransactions? Shut up. You want to go back to the days where, you know, games had DLC splitting players into different portions of content. You got to buy DLC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 just to play with Tom, Dick, and Harry. Or if, you know, you only bought DLC 1, 3, and 5, you need to go back and get 2 and 6 and all. Nah, I'll stick with, you know, the paid outfits and the battle pass inspiration and stuff like that. I'm so sick of hearing people whine about that. And forgive me about that rant in this video, guys, but I see so many people whining all the time. Oh, it's a retail game. It shouldn't have microtransactions. I already paid $60 for it. I don't want to pay for anything else. Then don't pay for anything else. Shut up. God. Like, yo, forgive the rant, but Jesus, I hear that with every single game that decides it wants to release a couple outfits. Like, bro. But all in all, guys, Marvel's Avengers is a solid experience. Like I said, it caters to both sides, and honestly, the way the game plays, I can't wait until, you know, they add more. It's just the way it's built right now. You know, you only have a few characters to choose from. The story itself is just a big teaser, and it just, you know, you want more. You want more characters to play as. You know, especially if you've played other superhero games that, you know, that were out for a while, you're probably used to a bigger roster and things like that. So one thing that is going to probably bother you is waiting for Avengers to be that experience that everyone wants it to. And I'm not saying, and I don't mean that like it's an incomplete game, because it doesn't feel like that. And I think anyone who plays that will probably agree with me to that extent. Like, it doesn't feel incomplete at all. There's a full story campaign there. There's plenty of end game to do. The stuff you have to work towards, getting a good build for your character, stuff. There's a lot to do in this game. And that, you know, doesn't even include anything with their future plans. Like, for example, when certain other looter games come out and stuff like that, you have to wait weeks and months for their raids and things to be added into the game. They're like, yeah, we're going to give players a month or two to hit end game. Avengers' raid is already there. It's called the AIM Secret Lab. Once you hit around, I think it's power level 140-ish or 150, it unlocks for you. The first raid of this game is already in there, and this game technically ain't even launched yet. Don't come out to the 4th. It's in early access. And endgame is there. You don't have to wait for it to come in a patch. Endgame is already here. And there's going to be more game added later. But I don't know. That's just me, guys. I personally think this is a solid experience. And, you know, and if you've been sketchy and if you've been let down by, you know, previous games like this, because I'll say straight up, I mean, this game isn't Destiny, it's not Anthem or anything like that, but there are a lot of mechanics in how the game's built and is planned to work for the future. It does work a lot like those games or how they were intended to work. It does them better, you know. It feels good to know that I can play a full experience like this and know that future content's coming, and, you know, I don't have to worry about it being gated and stuff like that. But keep in mind, guys, this is from a MMO, you know, multiplayer lovers perspective and stuff like that. So I like these kind of things. It may not be for everybody, but in all honesty, guys, like I said, it's, you know, it offers something for everyone. For the Marvel fans, you know, it's a banging story. You know, all that Marvel feel is there. The characters feel the way they do in the movies, comics, and shows. For those, you know, those hardcore MMORPG grinder type people like me, our experience is there. For you guys that just love single player beat 'em up stuff, your experience is there. If everything is there that that you want, why not? And that's literally what I'm going to ask you. And honestly, I'll touch this topic again next year in 2021. But anyway, guys, y'all enjoyed this video? Smash that thumbs up button for me. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. It's your boy Tanek127. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till next time, peace out. Take care.